Back. Okay, we're back. I'm going to try it one more time. Much better. The time draws near, Vindel. Time draws near, Vindel. The Nexus orbs grows with power each day. Brightmoor will soon belong to me. I have to give it to you, Wart. This hasn't been half bad. Well, I am an experienced wizard now, you know. Yep, you're as fearless as they come. Look, it's the castle.
Oh! No entry without permission from King Rexus.
Huh? I'm Wart the wizard. I have official business with the king.
Don't come around here with that nonsense. If you're a wizard, then where's your wizard spear?
Well, you see,
Heads up, everyone! We got a Balrog Slayer on our hands here. Why don't you cast us a spell, wizard? How about disappear? Look at the little fella. I bet he couldn't cast a fishing line.
Yeah, I love sound effects. You, sir, are no Olor the Great. Now he is a wizard, probably the best in all of Brightmoor, and he has a beard. Hey, Wart, why don't you try inspecting one of the guards? Maybe you can pick up a hint or two. Oh yeah, here goes nothing. Brightmoor. Gunny, the guard, level 1. Tompkins, in his hand is the brush. Hey, it's morning, Mort. Yes! Beckoned to Brightmoor Casa. Looks like the king is expecting you. He'll be keeping a close eye on you, though. Yes. Well, finish the rest of it. Oh, let's go. Hey, Matt G, how you doing, buddy? How you doing? I thought I'd give Mandy a little 4th of July surprise and read Wart the Wizard since well, this is sort of part 2. Thought I had everything fixed. Well, we will go on. Besides, if we stop now, we can't get to the ending, would we? So here goes. How long has it been gone? Roughly 10 days, sir.
You got so many voices.
Roughly 10 days, Your Highness, and he took the Staff of Aegis with him as well. Well, Cobblephots, that sucks. Orlo is the most powerful wizard in all of Brightmoor. What about Shala the Chivalrous? He's been behind the Great Gate and the Hollowglaive Bastion for days, my liege. And Valo Sunderstone? Grinding for XPs, I'm afraid. With all missing, where the heck are we going to get to find a hero to face the coming darkness? If my sources are correct, Gravemoss has returned and is in hiding and in possession of a Nexus Orb. A Nexus Orb? That means, am I in the right place? Who the heck are you? I'm Wart the Wizard. Wizard, huh? Where's your beard then? Seriously? Your Highness, if the task was too much for Orlo the Great to handle, How could we place the fate of Brightmoor in the hands of this foolish jester? Orlo's beard is great and majestic, and he carries the staff of ages. He also. All right, I'm about handed. I am due a wizard. I've had this wizard's hat for years. He said he had this wizard's hat for years. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I am a great wizard in disguise. I've slayed hobgoblins, bustheads, giants, and even dragons. What are you doing? Oh, really? He just may be the hero Brightmoor has been looking for. Go find Orlo the Great and bring him back here. If he's dead, then retrieve the Staff of Ages and return it. Do this for me, and Brightmoor will forever be in your debt, wizard. Oh, I find lost wizards all the time. This shouldn't take long at all. I accept your quest. We shall await your return, hero. Don't forget to stop by Sarsaparilla, the stable master, to retrieve your magnificent steed for the journey. Walt, what are you doing? So that went well. Yeah, for sure. Don't leap on it. I was being sarcastic, Walt. You're in way over your head. Let's go find my magnificent steed. Meanwhile, at the stables. Welcome to
the Five Tables. I'm Hans. If you pet the cat, you get 10% off all drinks. If you clean the litter box and pet the cat, you get 50% of drinks and a meal.
I'm doing the best I can. I'm cheap.
It was quarter after 2.
I'm on a king's quest, and King Rex has sent me to pick up a noble steed. This is the
S Tables, not stables. What did you say your name was?
Like the wizard. Hey, everybody.
Hey, everyone. This beardless wizard thought he was going to buy a horse here. Says he's on a quest for the king.
Here we go again. About that horse.
He doesn't even have a staff or a wand.
About that horse. Thanks for nothing, Hans.
You should just have pet the cat.
All right, now to find these stables. Oh, cool, a toy store. Hey, no work. Don't get distracted. We're on an important quest. Yeah. I doubt the lost wizard is going to find himself anytime soon. Good. Good grief, Ward. Dormax Toys. Hail, friend. Welcome to the greatest toy shop in all of Brightmoor. We have space toys, frog toys, pirate toys, samurai toys, and more. I assume you won't find, I assure you, you won't find a better deal anywhere else. Neat. How's the bum on the bottom? Who's that bum on the bottom shelf down there? Come on, Ward. You're killing me here. We got a quest to fulfill. I think that's about it, because my boss is telling me it's time to say adios, so I'll finish this up tomorrow. But, well, tried my best. Anyway, finish this up on the morrow. Been a little busy day. Anyway, I did make a promise. Screwed up a little bit, but still. A promise is a promise, and I got the wrong bug. Oh, there it is. Holding me up. Anyway, let's sort of give you a little end here of our little showboat show while we have this opportune time to do it. And let's give you some media bites before we take our hike for the evening. Part one, we got our scores in that. At least we got most of the show done. And I did promise a little surprise, a attempt at reading something with some of my voices. It was okay. My voices. Anyway. No one does stuff better than Mandy, I will tell you there. But if anyone needs cheap voices, I'm here. Okay, let's give you, before we take our leave, some media bites, few updates. And the biggest little shocking news of all things in this weird, wonderful world of ours is more problems over at ESPN. In fact, we got two things from ESPN to talk about. Now, in a piece published Sunday morning titled "A Disparaging Video Prompts Explosive Fallout Within ESPN," Kevin Draper of the New York Times takes a long look at the years plus of developments at ESPN in the wake of Rachel Nichols making a phone call from her hotel room with her video camera running, with some of that footage then being passed around inside and outside of ESPN, pushback from ESPN management. But a little discussion of what was actually on the footage. Draper's piece reveals many previously unprinted details of the call, including that it was to Adam Mendelsohn, a longtime advisor to LeBron James. And that included Nichols' complaint about Maria Taylor's elevation over the finals. Here's a quote that particularly stands out. It's contained in the first minute-long audio clip embedded in the Times article for those who want to see the surrounding context. Quote, "I wish Maria Taylor all the success in the world. She covers football, she covers basketball. If you need to give her more things to do because you are feeling pressure about your crappy long-time record on diversity, which, by the way, I know personally from the female side of it, like, go for it. Just find it somewhere else. You're not going to find it from me or taking my thing away." Her thing. That comment and others in that conversation, this particular one comes a few minutes after Nichols saying ESPN was, quote, feeling pressure on diversity, have created a year-long firestorm within ESPN. Those comments were seen widely within the worldwide leader in total sports network. Okay. I'm doing good here, aren't I? Those comments were seen widely as they were recorded from her still running camera and put into a folder many people had access to, which led to cell phone recordings of those comments to avoid IT tracing being passed around, including 4 minutes being sent to Deadspin, and they led to a lot of pushback internally against Nichols. What's really interesting is Draper's reporting on how this has led to major awkwardness for the Taylor-hosted NBA Countdown in June 2021. That includes Taylor writing to ESPN executives, including President Jimmy Pitaro, after this incident, and saying she wouldn't finish covering the 2019-2020 season. She then changed her mind and said she would host Countdown during the playoffs if she didn't have to interact with Nichols. Draper's piece then says, in Taylor's view, according to 6 people who have spoken to her, ESPN executives, including
ESPN executives agreed to the stipulation but violated it almost immediately by allowing Nichols to make short appearances without interacting with Taylor. And that led to continued drama, including at the start of this year's playoffs, where ESPN tried to make all Countdown reporter interviews pre-taped, presumably so Nichols stood out less and faced a potential boycott from the show's cast. Quote, as the NBA playoffs started in May, the stars of ESPN's marquee basketball show, NBA Countdown, discussed whether they would refuse to appear on it. A pre-show call with Taylor and the other commentators, Jalen Rose, Adrian Wojnarowski, and Jay Williams, as well as NBA Countdown staff members, had turned acrimonious, and Jimmy Pitaro, ESPN's president, had several phone conversations while at a family event to try to help smooth things over. Shortly before the playoffs, however, ESPN executives said that if Taylor continued to refuse to interact with Nichols on the air, no reporters would be allowed on the show live. NBA Countdown pushed back to no avail. On the pre-show call involving the stars of the show and production staff in both Los Angeles and New York, Taylor insisted to an executive that she be able to conduct live interviews with sideline reporters. She also brought up the recorded phone conversation. Wojnarowski jumped in and called Nichols a bad teammate. Rose said that ESPN had asked a lot from black employees over the past year, but that he and other black employees would extend their credibility to the company no longer. Taylor, who executives have asked numerous times to change her interactions with Nichols, said that the only people punished by ESPN's actions were women of color, Johnson, herself, and the three sideline reporters, Lisa Salters, Cassidy Hubbard, and Andrews, who received lesser assignments so that Nichols could have the lead sideline reporter role and now were not being allowed to appear on the show live. That piece goes on to note that Pitaro spoke to Taylor and Wojnarowski and then to Wojnarowski alone, and asked if returning to the status quo, both live and pre-tape reports would solve the problem. That's where things eventually landed by the end of that day, according to Draper's piece. Although Draper's piece has a comment from ESPN Vice President of Communications Josh Krulwitz that the decision regarding reporters on these shows was made solely by NBA production management, end quote. And that's fascinating. It illustrates that the fallout from this Nichols call has impacted many more people than just Taylor, and has also altered ESPN's plans for on-TV coverage. Also of note in that piece is the note that the only person actually punished over Nichols' call was Kayla Johnson, a black producer who admitted to sharing footage of it with Taylor. She was suspended for 2 weeks without pay, given less desirable assignments when she returned and eventually left the company. Now, it is also worth noting this week's report from Andrew Marchand of the New York Post about Taylor's contract expiring as of July 20th and ESPN's various offers to her and the new context offered from this Times piece. What was particularly interesting about that Post piece, which appeared to have a lot of management side sourcing and not much from Taylor's camp, was its discussion of how ESPN had made Taylor an initial offer of near $5 million at one point during last year's pandemic, but that their current offer was more in the $2 to $3 million range. It's unclear if that initial offer came before this Nichols call and the blowback from it. Either way, the current offer to Taylor appears to be much less, and the ongoing Countdown conflicts, as illustrated in Draper's reporting, may have been a factor in those negotiations. All of this is worth reading in terms of the larger context of the racial issues at ESPN, which Draper explored in a detailed feature last July that saw many black ESPN employees stating they often didn't feel respected, weren't given pathways to promotion, and were warned what not to discuss on the air, mainly politics. Taylor was involved in one particularly notable incident there. She was speaking about her experience at ESPN on a white conference call and was interrupted by white announcer Dave Lamont, calling her remarks venting, without, of course, realizing the mic was on. And her comment in that aforementioned email to Pitaro and others after the Lamont incident and the Nichols incident is also of note. Quote, I will not call myself a victim, but I certainly have felt victimized, and I do not feel as though my complaints have been taken seriously, end quote. She wrote in an email to ESPN executives, including Pitaro, 2 weeks after the incident, which was obtained by the New York Times. Quote, in fact, first time I have heard from HR after two incidents of racial insensitivity was to ask if I leaked Rachel's tape to the media. I would never do that, end quote. Well, we'll see what comes out of all this at ESPN, particularly with Taylor's expiring contract, but it's clear that the 2020 Nichols call is continuing to affect ESPN's decision and its NBA on ESPN coverage. Wow. And it wasn't a good day if you happen to be a fan of the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. In fact, we as well tried to do a stream of note, and I'm not going back on that again. But once again, our friends over at Awful Announcing noted, as did we, that whoa, it was ugly. This year marked ESPN's 18th straight broadcast of Nathan's hot dog eating contest, but unlike 17 of those years, they did not go as planned. The live feed of the men's contest, the only one shown on ESPN this year, the women's was held earlier on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app, otherwise known as ESPN 3, crashed 3 times inside the final 4 minutes of the event. The first crash happened during an interview with 4 minutes left in the men's contest, with the broadcast first freezing, then going to a black screen, then showing a bunch of blurry images with no sound. Eventually, after just over 30 seconds, ESPN switched to a DraftKings commercial. The broadcast then returned inside the final 3 minutes with Joey Chestnut pulling away and returned mid-sentence from someone on the air. Not long after that, though, the broadcast picture froze and went blurry before ESPN again went to a commercial. After several commercials, they came back inside the final minute mid-sentence. But then the issues hit again in the final 15 seconds, including a crash to a blue screen and only caught still frame video of Chestnut's 76th and final hot dog. They finally managed, after a commercial, to make smooth transition ahead of the trophy presentation and interview with Chestnut. That's a remarkable run of technical difficulties, and it's unclear what caused it. Feed crashes do happen, and they're often about weather, but that does not appear to have been the case here with all the sun that can be seen on the broadcast. At any rate, this was highly unfortunate timing, with 3 of those crashes coming inside the final minutes of the event. So now what? Will Nathan's next year, will they go back to ESPN, or will they find a new home somewhere else? We'll just have to, as they say, wait and see. For those of you who watched last night's conclusion of the NBA Eastern Conference Finals, it was Marv Albert's, after almost 60 years of calling professional basketball, in fact, after 60 years of calling any sport, its final game came Saturday night on TNT. Albert, who was given the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame's Kirk Gowdy Media Award back in 1997, started his basketball broadcasting career by calling Knick games on WCBS Radio back in '63, first as a fill-in for Marty Glickman. He's had a long and impressive career since then on both local and national fronts, but announcer this year at this season would be his last. And analyst Reggie Miller paid a notable on-air tribute to him following the Bucs series clinching win over the Hawks Saturday. And the best line of that was, quote, "You gifted the game of basketball with your voice," end quote. Albert, of course, being a gentleman, a humble man, responded with the usual niceties as TNT showed some pictures from a great legacy. And he received a standing ovation from Miller and from some of the fans behind the broadcast booth. As mentioned, Albert started his basketball career in '63 as a fill-in for Marty Glickman on a Knicks broadcast. He also called television games nationally for NBC from '90 to '97, and then again from 2000 to 2002. He started working at Turner in '98 and has been there since, serving as the lead voice of the NBA on TNT for much of that time. He has made an impact on the NBA and other sports he has covered, not just for TNT, but NBC as well. A long and illustrious career. I know it's a cliche, but there will never be another Marv Albert. Although Kevin Harlan does bear that striking vocal resonance. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. And with that and everything else, we are about 4 minutes away from ending our special show. And, well, I gave it a try of doing my voices for a book. I'll have to read further and say how far I can go. But I thought I'd give it a shot with Wart the Wizard and do that for Mandy and for all the fans of Wart the Wizard. And if I messed up, I do apologize. But I will tell you this. I can't wait for Wart the Wizard 2, the Portal of Echoes. It should be great. So thank you all. Hope you all had a great 4th of July. I saw 2 awesome fireworks displays. And again, to my friend Jay, to my colleagues over there on Spreaker.com, don't forget tomorrow, because it was 4th of July, we took the Sunday off. So tomorrow night at 11 o'clock to midnight, we do the podcast on Spreaker, Last Call Cafe at 11, and Russell Anime Hut at 11:30. And at midnight, more or less, we will be doing our regular show. So we hope you'll tune in, turn on, and have a great laugh. And we might just go further into the book. I just got to remember which voices to do so I can write them all down. But folks, that's going to wrap things up for us. I want to thank you all for tuning in to a wild, if not crazy, edition of Sports Final. Our 4th of July edition, not much happening in the realm of sports, so at least we hope my voices reading Wart the Wizard entertains you all. Yes, I do the voices. I do the voice of Harry von Stuttgart, among other things, including General Big Jimmy Billy Bob Bo Schwaltz, and a few other voices as well. So thank you very much. Hopefully you liked it, and we might just do it again tomorrow. I don't know. But thank you, everybody, for watching. It's been a thrill. It's been fun. Hey, it's been a firework. And it is getting a little late in the day, or a little late in the night. So good morning for those of you here on the East Coast and Midwest. And for the rest of you, good night. This has been a presentation, Mystifying Creativity Productions in association with the L2C Media Network and L2C Sports.